Hello everyone, this is Boriqua Binks and welcome to Let's Play 999. In the last episode, we were talking to Seven and he was telling his story. Some of it was a little bit of a repeat for us, but then we got to this very sad, very tragic explanation of how this girl, Akane, died. And it's all Ace's fault. Oh, he's such an a-hole. Oh boy. And yeah. So right now we feel awful. Junpei felt a cold lump form in the pit of his stomach. A feeling of sickening anticipation washed over him. He could feel his body shivering. He desperately did not want to know the answer he feared he knew already, but he had to ask. He had to know for sure. Um, can I ask you one more thing? What? The girl, Akane. What was her last name? Here we go. What does it matter to you? Just, just tell me, okay? Please. Seven looked at Junpei curiously and ran his tongue quickly over his dry lips. Oh, snap. Kurashiki. Her name was Akane Kurashiki. Yeah. Cue Junpei having a mental breakdown right now. Since he's the only one in that room who knows that June's real name is Akane Kurashiki. So, what the hell? Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. He was just a shell of flesh and bone. Seven turned to Snake. You were there that day, weren't you? The tall kid in the jacket. That was you, wasn't it? Yes, I was. You are correct, Detective. Junpei's mind was blank, withdrawn from the world. He's probably not even really paying attention to this conversation right now. Somewhere far away, he could hear Seven and Snake talking. Don't misunderstand me. I told you before how Zero threatened me. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't say anything about what happened 9 years ago. So you're saying you're not working for Zero, right? Of course not. Clover, what about you?
Hey, come on. You really think I'm working with Zero? I told you before, you idiot. I was in Nevada, in Building Q. I did hear that a detective rescued the kids on the boat, but I didn't know it was you.
Her surprise seemed to be genuine. Seven regarded Clover for a moment and rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Well, I guess I believe you. Clover nodded. Alright, let me ask you another question. He stuck his hands into his pockets and took a few steps. Then he stopped and turned to face them again. Ah, there we go. The other big reveal. Santa's real name is Aoi Kurashiki. Meaning he is June's brother. And all those times before when it kind of seemed like he was into her, it makes sense now. It's not like that. Yeah. He's Akane's brother. You know that? But they still haven't figured out that Akane is June because, in their minds they're like, she's dead, so.
No, I didn't. Did you?
Well, yes, I know Aoi Kurashiki was her brother, but I didn't know he was Santa, at least not from the beginning. Uh-oh. 9 years ago, he was in the middle of puberty. His voice is entirely different now. Yeah, I tried to make my voice sound a little different. It's kind of hard, but I tried. I'm ashamed to say that even my exceptional hearing wasn't able to make that connection. As such, I had no reason to think Aunt Santa was our way. When did you figure it out? A short time ago, Clover told me that Santa might have been one of the subjects of the initial experiment. When she told me that, I had a feeling. Santa's Aoi? Akane Kurashiki, June's brother? I said that so weird, sorry. That spark caught flame in Junpei's leaden mind, and the fog began to clear. Like an engine beginning to turn, images and thoughts began to coalesce in his mind, stupid dog, coming faster and faster, forming bigger images, bigger thoughts. Junpei blinked. He was back. There's still a lot we don't know. I mean, like, a lot. But there is one thing I think we can say we know. What's that? The body we found in the shower room had to be Nijisaki, dressed up to look like Snake. What? Come on, man. What kind of a detective are you? You didn't figure that out already? Dang. That's pretty savage. But yeah, I feel like if he's a detective, there's some stuff here and there I'm like, really? You should have figured that out, buddy. Hey, go easy on me, man. I just got my memory back, alright? Cut me some slack. Well, if he is, the 3 murders make sense then, don't they? Yeah, that's right. Murder. Kubota blew himself up, but that was murder too. So why did these murders take place? If Junpei is correct and the body in the shower room was Nijisaki's, that means all of the people who were murdered were involved with the creation of the Nonary project. Yep. Kubota, the person who conducted the actual experiments. Nijisaki, Hongo's assistant. Musashido, the man who financed the project.
You mean this was all just revenge? Santa is Zero. He's getting revenge for the death of his sister.
No, I don't think Santa actually murdered anyone. In fact, Junpei didn't think. He knew. He couldn't explain why or how, but he had no doubt that Santa had killed no one. Perhaps the madness of the last several hours was finally driving him insane, but Junpei had ceased to be surprised at his sudden knowledge, and had even begun to accept it. If I'm right, then it's not hard to figure out who the next victim's gonna be, is it? I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you. Snake, Clover, and Seven all nodded. The next target will be Gentaro Hongo.
The person who planned the Nonary project.
In other words, Ace. There was a moment of silence. I wouldn't bother saving him. Seriously, he would totally deserve it. Uh-oh. And then the room shook. From far away, they heard the sudden rush of water. Whoa! What the hell's going on here? It must be 6 a.m. Our time is up. Shit. Come on. We need to get out of here.
How?
In the drawer that had held the picture was a key card. Junpei grabbed it. I'm betting this sucker opens the exit. Come on. Let's go. Alright, let's go. Finally. I just want to go. Key card 0. Okay. Alright, let's just swipe this card.
Junpei, look! It's unlocked!
Yeah, Now we can go back to the library. Hurry up, Junpei. We don't have time. Let's go. Yes. All right. Let's go. Phew. Finally. We are done. Let's get the ending of this game. Finally. The door opened and they stumbled into the library. The shaking had stopped, but they knew the danger hadn't passed. They ran across the hallway straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was the Uranus card reader. They slid the keycard through, and the door rumbled open. Out of the library and into the hallway they ran. And we have the Neptune key, too. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran toward it. The key he put into the lock was the Neptune key. He turned it. The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. Here we go. In front of them was another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque. It read, Incinerator. So, this is the incinerator. This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so. Then there ought to be a lever near the door. Yeah, right here. Junpei ran up to it. Pull that, and the door should open. Got it. As he spoke, he pulled the lever. And this is interesting also because all this time that we've been solving puzzles and everything, the others should have escaped. So, what the heck? The motor in the door groaned, and as it slowly ground open, there was no time to waste. As soon as the door had opened far enough to admit them, all four dashed through. Then, suddenly, there before them were the four who they'd parted from earlier. Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. Uh-oh. What happened? Santa was curled into a ball against the wall of the incinerator, holding his stomach. All this time, it's so weird because in the other ending we're like, okay, we know Ace is the bad guy. But then sometimes, like earlier in this ending, we were like, oh, Santa's the bad guy. So they keep changing it up on you. But you know the real bad guy here is Ace. And then there was June. She sat slumped against the wall, exhausted. What had happened? Junpei ran toward June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt down. What's wrong? Are you okay? Her face was pale and her lips dry. Are you a ghost? What is going on? When she spoke, he could barely hear her.
Jumpy, you came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
She mumbled the same words over and over, weakly. Junpei could feel his heart breaking. Hey, what happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me.
She was looking towards Santa. Junpei turned to look as well. Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Did he get punched there? Or what, like stabbed maybe? Maybe he's like in really bad shape, who knows? Seven grabbed him by the collar and roared at him. Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere? Ugh. Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips as Seven shook him. I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun. What? Who took it? What? Isn't that obvious?
Here we go.
I took the gun.
Here we go again.
Ace!
You guys didn't even notice until now? He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Ace had her pinned to him with the other arm, and she was shaking visibly. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead, and when her eyes weren't flicking up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I oughta say, Gentaru Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical.
Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace sneered.
You have me at a disadvantage.
Why did I say that weird? Oh, that's right. Now I realize why he didn't recognize Seven. Oops.
You have me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
The pain of prosopagnosia, right? Junpei's voice was casual. Or at least it was trying to be.
Huh. Another irritating insect. And how do you know that,
Junpei couldn't say. He just knew. Another unexplainable mystery.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Behind Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in the small indentation on the wall. Quickly, Ace placed his hand on the scanner. It beeped, and he forced Lotus's hand onto it as well. Then at last he reached into the pocket of his jacket. He pulled something out and pressed it against the panel. The third asterisk appeared in the red. The thing he had used for the final verification was the bracelet with the number 9. It had belonged to the first man to die, Kubota. Yep, 189.
I believe I've won this game.
His smirk made Junpei's blood boil.
I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, something about the way he'd spoken. Did Ace not know who Zero was? Huh. You would think he would have figured it out that it was Santa, but that's strange. Junpei's eyes flicked towards Santa. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in immense pain. Okay, I mean, yeah, I can't imagine how hard it must hurt to be punched in the stomach, but isn't that a bit much? I don't know. I've seen people shrug it off before, so I don't know. Maybe he has a weak... whatever. I don't know. Junpei wasn't sure if it was real pain. See, he's not sure either. But he wasn't sure it wasn't either. What the hell did Santa have up his sleeve this time?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye.
Wait! Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request. and laid hold of the laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, what?
What? What? Why isn't it opening?
Lotus tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion and managed to twist herself out of his grasp, but... Uh-oh. At the last second, he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red. He waved the number 9 bracelet over the red and then his own bracelet as well. He pulled the lever a second time. Mm-mm.
No! What is this? Why? The digital root should be 9. It has to be 9. Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Mm-hmm. It's not 9, I think, right? Didn't we establish that earlier? I'm kind of confused. I think so. Yeah, because June's is 9, Santa's is 0? Yeah. I'm so confused. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot everything. Ace's fury and confusion had overridden all other thoughts. He had set down the revolver. Huh? It was just below the red. 7 chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than a man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. What? Oh, so he's...
Grrr!
Yeah. Nice going. Something got in my eye. Sorry. What is that? I don't know. It was over before they knew it. In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. Good. Son of a... He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain.
Ugh.
Lotus ran straight for Junpei. She darted around behind him and stuck her head out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace. Well, yeah, I guess she feels like Junpei can protect her. Phew, that was close. Too close. Thank you, 7.
Don't mention it.
7 stood over Ace, his breathing slow and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit.
One punch! Come on. Destroy him. Seriously, we need Saitama right now.
After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat. 9 years ago? Ah, then you must be. Yeah, you finally figured it out. Dumbass.
Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped and looked down at Ace, with pity on his face. Why would you pity him? He's an evil douche.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you? Wait, Nijisaki?
He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused.
Oh, right. You don't know yet. Alright, we'll just go through 'em in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. You're just gonna be summarizing everything he told you in the last time. Come on. I'm not gonna go through this again. This is the same thing that Ace had said in the last ending. Yes. His 4 motives. About the number 9 bracelet. He wanted to get rid of Kubota. He's a threat. He wanted the bracelet himself. Yes, I know.
Game, why are you doing this to me? I know technically this is the first time he's saying it in this timeline, so it's a good summary or whatever, just in case you didn't play the safe ending and this ending back to back. Most disturbing as a test subject, yes. There we go. That was why you killed Kubota, but he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing part of the red, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki. Chiefly because when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not. That was Nijisaki. Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid. But his presence made you think...
Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why doesn't he say anything?
Yes, okay. It's the same thing. Blah, blah, blah.
Everyone's a threat to me. I must kill them all. That's basically his mindset.
That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead. I'm not going to say poor because he was part of the nonary project, so he's a douche too. They all deserved it. Although technically they should be in jail.
Then you mean to say Snake is still alive?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Ace's self-derision was frustrating, but Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued. Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. This is the only one that's completely new to us, so let's talk about it. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Yeah, I remember that. Do you remember what you said? Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it? I handed you the pocket watch and you left the room. Oh, so he had already solved the puzzle and he was able to leave and then he came back. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Ace had been in charge of the nonary project. He would, of course, have known the solution to every puzzle. It followed, then, that he knew how to get out of the wheelhouse. All Ace had to do was place the pocket watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, he was able to enter the captain's quarters. Musashido was there. Next to him was an axe that fairly begged Ace to kill Musashido with it. He picked up the axe and swung it, burying the blade deep in the other man's chest. Really? Is it because you knew it was Musashido, or did you think it was Zero? One blow was all it took. Afterwards, Ace returned to the chart room as though nothing had happened. There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment? He had fallen into the wheelhouse. When they reached the wheelhouse, he slipped his hand into... Ah, yes. So when he discovered the whole thing, it was actually... Pull out the piece of paper, but it wasn't the piece of paper that he was after. His true purpose had been to slip the pocket watch into Junpei's pocket. Wow, that's pretty slick, actually. Yeah, it wasn't a very good plan. It had far too many flaws, and the wrong word of discovery could easily have toppled it. What had made Ace so desperate? That was the only thing Junpei hadn't been able to figure out. Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. Yeah, me too. You obviously did it, but why?
Because of this.
Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled something out of his pocket. It was a folded piece of paper. Junpei took it and opened it. This is new? This was what it said. Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. Ah, I totally forgot about this. The decision is yours. Do as you please. See, Zero, technically, yeah, he set up the perfect, scenario for him to get away with murdering people. But at the same time, he gave him options. He didn't have to kill these people. He chose to do it because he's a megalomaniac. He's a psychopath. Very interesting. Zero.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I would get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning, then? Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was.
See, that's what makes you a total psycho. So unnecessary. You just don't want to go to jail, frickin' douche.
I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace had confessed everything. What energy he had left him with the truth, and he sagged onto his knees. Why can't I read right now? Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt revulsion for the pathetic man on the floor near his feet. What else can you feel? But in among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those 3 men. Junpei spoke quietly. Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. I'm quite ashamed of myself. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do. Yeah. By manipulating Ace, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. Am I right, Santa? Junpei looked over at Santa. As Junpei spoke, he stood up, his legs still shaky. Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know any... Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh? Seven's face was sad as he spoke. My memory came back, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the Nonary game this time around was Zero. And Zero's you. Yep, he was faking it. Huh. Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh? Santa's smile was sarcastic and something else. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurashiki. I was one of the kids in the nonary game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing. No, I guess there's 2 things you got wrong. Number 1, I ain't Zero. What? Yeah. That's, the real reaction. What? What? Wait, what? Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant. Like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders. Then, if you're not Zero, who is? Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say 2 things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said... All this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the nonary game. Huh? To save someone. What? I love this game so much. It's just like, what? That's all you can say. With a lot of these twists, it's just really great. I wish this was blind for me. I really wish. I mean, it's semi-blind, but it's not blind. Ah, man. Oh well. I'm still enjoying it, so I hope you guys are too. Save someone? Right. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane. What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurashiki... Oh, sorry. Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there, I saw... Suddenly, Seven froze. His eyes went as wide as dinner plates, and he spun around toward June. Yep. He finally figured it out, huh? Junpei followed his gaze. She was gone. Where June had been, there was nothing. What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurashiki? Wait, what? You know her name now?
Seven began to mumble to himself, a strange series of words strung together as if his mind wasn't functioning properly. Oh boy. His face was twisted with effort, as though he was struggling with something they couldn't see. He gritted his teeth and pressed his hands against the sides of his head.
Ugh, my head, my head. It feels like it's gonna pop.
He groaned and fell to his knees. Seven? What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode.
From somewhere far away, they all heard a deep, heavy noise. It sounded like a tremendous wheel slowly beginning to turn. Santa seemed to have entered an almost trance-like state. His words were calm and measured. What was the Nonary Project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. Did I just say that weird? Phenomenon. Sorry. And what was that phenomena? For two organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were two separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. Building Q had been built to replicate exactly the interior of the Gigantic. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles, copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Oh, hold on, let me see. So Clover is a transmitter because she was in Building Q, and that means that Aoi, let me see, Aoi and uh, why is my brain blanking out? Snake and Akane, but hold on, what? Aoi, Snake, and Akane were receivers on the Gigantic? But wait a second. I thought, if that's his sister, then why are they... Oh, I'm jumping ahead again. I'm sorry. Yeah, see, here we go. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up, but that there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She's a transmitter. Huh, interesting. She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei. Where? What is going? Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? But wait, why Junpei? Why not you? You're her brother. This is what I still don't get. And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it? Well, the answer to that is easy. Whoa. I did not want to do this. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave this episode right here. Looks like the ending is not tonight. It's not today. So I'm gonna have to do one more episode to finally put the nail in this coffin of the game.
Or another coffin. I screwed up that joke. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. In the next episode will finally be the ending of 999. Woo! Alright. Until then, have a nice day. Bye.